Hey there, good man fam. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, I'm an individual who loves to respond to individual podcasts that have a group of females on them because you get a chance to see which ones are the traditional women, the modern women, or the modern females. And it doesn't matter from which podcast I get these videos, it's just that I love to see the group of individual females. Now, what I'm about to show you was just something that made me shake my head. And it wasn't something that was surprising. It was just one of those, man, why do they do this? Why do they not get it? So I want you to pay attention to the first female who was talking. You're going to notice something about what it is that she says. And you can tell me if you agree or disagree with what she says. But the point of this video isn't about what she said. I'll explain later. Listen up.
And the point of freedom, like, I also agree with, people should be allowed to exercise their freedoms to do whatever they want. Like, ultimately, if people are telling you, don't do this, and you still decide to do it, I'm not a tyrant. I'm not then going to absolutely put a gun to your head until you do what I want you to do, because it's coming from a place of love. If you decide not to listen and you kill yourself, that is ultimately your fault at the end of the day. But the point that Pearl was making was about celebration, and the thing,
and that's what I was talking about.
The thing with body positivity and the trans movement, the two examples that we just gave, is that when you celebrate something, you are encouraging it. So without the celebration, because it's like people can still do that, right? Trans people can still exist. People can still be overweight and be positive in themselves. But it's the point is that it's projected and celebrated upon society, and we shouldn't be doing that because it's not good for individuals. But if individuals decide that they want to do that, great. I don't think anyone should be forced to do anything in life. But if you celebrate it, you encourage it. And what good does that do in encouraging people? We had a woman on the front of Sports Illustrated magazine who was £300. If we all know, girls, we've all heard this narrative for years. It was in the 90s, it was girls are seeing women who are too skinny, so girls are then starving themselves. Okay, well, now they're seeing women who are too fat. So now they're thinking, oh, well, that's okay and that's celebrated. And the truth is, either way, that's not good. So I think the point is that people can do what they want, but as a society, we should not celebrate the things that are bad for humankind. That's the point. And ultimately, if you then decide to go against that, more power to you, but don't go out and project it onto the rest of the world because it's not good for people.
Now, you heard what she said, right? Very simple, very straightforward. And it made sense because we do have a problem with this whole overweight thing and how they're making this to be something that's supposed to be thumbs up. Even though Victoria's Secret themselves, I don't know if you all heard this, but they're like, we're going to kind of go back to our roots because they started realizing that nobody wants to buy individual females being overweight on covers. Okay, well, smart. Now, I want you to watch the response to this, the response to what she just said by these females who came after her. And you tell me what it is that you noticed, because I want to see if you noticed the same thing that I did. Watch this.
I think people making a choice to celebrate something that they feel strongly about, that they care about, that they feel that they relate to, is influencing other people.
And I just ask a question, but being that a competent adult that's raising these children, the family that are so concerned about her, let's say she's a traditional family girl. Who was leading this family as to what was put in this child's mouth for her to then gain this weight? And then for them to now sit down and say to this child, you are now overweight. Because now they've created habits and addictions and so on and so forth because they see that this is not healthy. And because they have the knowledge, because they know better, they are the competent adult. They were competent enough to provide the food from birth to whatever said date that she is now overweight. So, now we have a problem, and I'm going to tell you that you're the problem, and we need to fix this problem. But I created this problem, so we're going to come down and sit with our leader, whoever that may be in that family, and together as a family, and we're going to change the habits and unlearn these bad behaviors that have caused this child to now then be overweight, and we're going to do it together as a family? Or are we going to just magnify this child who has now learned this terrible behavior, which has now caused possible health problems, and she feels bad, or whatever it is, negative, positive, whatever it may be? It started at the foundation of her being a baby, because the baby did not put the processed food on the table. The baby did not go and buy it. The baby did not see the billboard and say, "Mommy, I want that McDonald's." And mommy said, "Yes, you can have." Every time you say you want McDonald's, you can have it. You have to be able to make that executive decision as a competent adult that chose to raise a child, and together as a collective with whoever your village or your support is and your leader, and make that. Then don't go and make the child feel bad for your choices.
Did you hear it? Did you notice the same thing that I did? This is the problem, at least one of the biggest problems in modern dating today. These modern females have one serious problem. Now, you can think this female is a traditional woman, a modern woman, or a modern female. I'm not saying which one I believe she is, but I'm talking about the actual thought process. Modern females' thought process is, whatever it is that I don't like is going to be something from which I deflect all criticism. Did you notice how her conversation was about not how these females should take accountability, but it was, hey, let me give you a scenario. And the scenario did what? Deflected from responsibility. So I'm going to give her a scenario. How about this? How about that female grew up in a home that taught her how to eat well, take care of herself, and the whole nine. Then she became 18 years of age, left, and within 3 years of being out there in the world, she got hold of all of this information from people who don't know how to take responsibility either, and she started doing whatever she wanted to do, because females don't usually have consequences for it. And part of whatever she wanted to do was eating whatever she wanted. Why? Because her metabolism, you're young, your metabolism is going to burn all of this stuff. And then she looks up. She's still eating like that. Now she's 25. And she's 5'2", 203 pounds. How about that? Was that the family's problem? No. You tell me. Was that the family's problem? Because, see, your scenario, ma'am, was that the family fed this female to the point to where she got big, and then the family started trying to shame her and talk about how she shouldn't be that big. But you're the one who set it in motion, family, right? That was your scenario. Well, my scenario is that the family didn't do it. My scenario could be just as plausible as yours, right? Oh, right, it couldn't. Because then that would mean that the female actually did something wrong. And what is it that I tell you all the time about how females think, particularly modern females? They can never be the culprit. They always have to be the victim. They can never be the cause. They always have to be the individual upon whom the effect of the cause was thrown. They can never be the villain. They always have to be the hero. This is why they talk about females dating sideways and up. It's because in their mind, they can never lose. This is one of those situations where these individual females who spoke after the first one saw, oh shoot, it's something bad about which they're talking when it comes to females. We have to find a way to not make it the female's fault. This is the problem. Again, at least one of the biggest problems is that modern females have mastered the art of deflection. And it has even seeped into some traditional and modern women as well. Whether these individual females who were speaking after her, the first one, are traditional women, or modern females, we don't know. This is not that video. But what we do know is it's very easy for them to find a way to not put any accountability onto the female sex.